Catherine McBroom is exposing Austin and the Ace family in her new book. She is not holding back, and she is telling us how she found out her husband cheated on her. So let's get into it. We've been covering the Ace family for years on my channel, and they're finally making headlines again because Catherine McBroom is speaking out about her marriage to Austin and exposing him for cheating on her. Her book is titled Dolores, My Journey Home, and it looks like she's going to be talking about her experience going through the divorce and also building up this YouTube channel with 19 million subscribers. We've called out the Ace family for many different reasons. We've called out Austin for cheating, which we'll be talking about today. We've also talked about them not paying their bills, screwing over people, fake giveaways, scams, so much more. They did a lot of damage while they were here on YouTube. Ben Austin still creates content for his podcast and his Snapchat, but Catherine's been very quiet until now. Now, there are some sections of her book that have been leaked out that we're going to read today, where she talks about what it feels like to be cheated by Austin and to go out and to smile in front of everyone to pretend that everything is okay. In this section, she's actually speaking about that day that they went to the crypto arena and they had this huge moment with the Ace family and all of their Ace family fans watching them in the stadium. While you think this is a peak for the Ace family, it really was a low point because at that point, Catherine had already understood that Austin was cheating on her. She writes, "Too far from the essence of why we resonated with people in the first place. Too far from what had been genuine between us." Yes, so much of YouTube had been for clicks, for views, for spectacle. Catherine is reminding him that the reason they are famous is because they are a family channel, not because people want to follow Austin. She says, "That's what I wanted too. However, the love we built our family on had been genuine, and that's what they had always wanted. They didn't want Austin waving to them alone or standing apart like another well-known influencer, but us." She's also talking about this instance where they were at an event and Austin came out and walked out alone, genuinely just soaking up all the attention. When the song ended, he went around smooching with people who boosted his ego until it was time to go home. I didn't have to say anything to him that night, but I should have taken his hand in the locker room and asked, "Why don't you want me beside you?" My heart ached as he watched my husband, but I did what I did best. I masked it, but I didn't. Instead, I buried it deep in the pain of the moment, even though I felt a slight shift toward the end. A few months later, however, everything came crashing down for real, and I discovered that Austin had been cheating on me. Not just a suspicion, not a rumor, but proof that she goes on. At that point, I understood why he hadn't wanted to walk beside me and why it had been so violated his commitments. He had already been gone from me, longer than I had known. A close family member of his admitted to me that he'd invited a girl to that very Staples Center, which the Staples Center is now the Crypto Arena event. The same night, I'd convinced myself that I was being selfless for letting him have his moment. So I wonder who the close family member of his was. It his brother? Was it his mother? I would assume it could be his brother. Landon, I'd seen her there. She says pretty a hanger-on, standing just close enough to feel out of place, but comfortable enough to belong. So she's speaking about the other woman that Austin brought to this family event. I had noticed her in the way that you catch something that doesn't quite fit a puzzle piece jammed into the wrong spot. I'd even wondered who invited her. No, now I knew it all made sense, the way that he had wanted me. Next to hadn't wanted me next to him, the shrug, the indifference. So the fact that he didn't want Catherine next to him at this event is because he didn't want the new girl to see this happy man with this happy wife, because that's not the case, the way he treated me that night, as if I was a thorn in his side. The distance that had been stretching between us widened like a crack in the foundation, too stubborn to crumble all at once in an instant. It all connected. That realization was an explosion. It was rage, or shouting, or throwing things. It was slower. It was heavier, a knife to the gut that didn't cut fast, but pressed in deeper and deeper, until you could feel it in my bones, or rather my heart. It wasn't just betrayal. It was the realization that I had been living inside a lie, that our life, the one that we had built with camera angles and clickbait and perfectly timed edits, was hollowing out beneath me, an illusion created for millions to see, but never for me to truly live the relationship. The love that had once been true had evaporated before my eyes, dissipating into the air like vapor, leaving nothing behind but the ache of knowing that had been slipping away long before I had ever saw it. All the things I had ignored, brushed aside, rationalized. They hadn't been paranoia. They had been real. After that, I turned inward inside. I questioned everything about Austin. Everything that had come before, every late-night editing session, every last-minute excuse, every glance at his phone that ended with the screen tilted just out of my view. I discovered there were others. So many girls, so many betrayals. I had never felt more alone just in my relation. Not just in my relationship, but in my life. I couldn't call my mom. I was too ashamed, too humiliated to say the words out loud. He cheated on me. Saying it would make it real would turn into something I couldn't shove down and reshape into something easier to swallow. I couldn't tell my dad or my brother. My brother had just started his own YouTube channel, and I didn't want to pull him into this mess. Didn't want him looking at Austin differently, even though I would never see my husband the same way again. I was also newly pregnant with our third child, so I carried it alone. The weight of it, the ache of it, the thirst for something I didn't have it all lived inside of me. It sat on my chest, heavy and unmoving, making it hard to breathe, hard to sleep, and hard to think about anything else. So we talked about two different events in this section of the book. We talked about the Staples event, the Crypto Arena event, in which Austin walked out alone, and we also talked about the moment where she gave birth to their third baby. And looking back on the footage, you can see, because these people document everything you can see, that Catherine was not feeling Austin during their birth vlog. Like, she would barely even look over at him. He's looking at the camera the entire time, not directly, but through the lens, crying. And his circulation is going, wow, he really is, but he needs to make sure he gets every shot because he knows what they're worth online. Pull him up, and he's still attached to him. Happy birthday, baby. Good job. It's a boy. However, they were the only parts of the book that were made public that we could verify were taken from her work. Naturally, Catherine is receiving support from the comments section. Someone comments, "Catherine is once again proof that you could help build a man while he breaks you down for the next woman, by the way." Another individual adds, "Is the way that she had the gut feeling that he was unfaithful to her and said nothing for months until later she got proof and still stayed. He is a narcissist," according to someone else, who also claims that he is a fantastic father, but a terrible spouse. Someone else states, "Not following her intuition probably turned her into the spiritual woman she is now." Someone else said, "The way that people have been making fun of her, but she's been going through heartbreak for so many years, is so sad. How could someone cheat on Catherine? She's like everyone's dream girl," said another. "I don't care what people think. This lady created this man despite the fact that she was losing herself because all she wanted was love, respect, family, and a spouse. That's why Austin is Austin." Ashley says, "Honestly, it's sad, but are we surprised Austin and his brother are both gross?" Sierra writes, "It was an Ace family event like that, and it's really strange of him trying to make him something. He would be nothing without her." I was searching the internet for information about this book when I came across an intriguing Reddit post accusing Catherine of using the psychedelic drug Iska in her LA home to promote her new book, which she wrote entirely with ChatGPT. In the video, you could see her babbling about transcending dimensions and channeling ancestral feminine energy. I'm not sure where the ChatGPT accusations are coming from, but I wanted to include this.
Where am I right now? Am I in the fifth? Am I, doing the work? Am I praying every day? Or am I sinning, Or am I being very dark and angry and wishing people bad? Am I doing things that are harmful to me?
That's all we currently know about the new book. But since we've been following this family for years, we're going to stay on top of things. Please let me know what you think in the comments section below. The book is expected to be released on July 1st. So, will you be reading it? Or will you be here to hear the updates? Until then, I'll see you in a new video soon.